Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
You know the answer, sister. You really, really do. You really, really do. You know, there's a lot of times that we struggle with making a decision in life. Am I going to make the quote right decision? Am I choosing the right thing? If I choose this, how will it affect this person or these people? Or what will the impact be? And what if I do choose wrong? And will I fuck it all up? And blah, 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 blah. Whew, it's exhausting, right? You feel me on that? We've all been there before, thinking that we need to mentally figure things out. And what I know to be true, what has been my experience for myself, and when I notice this in my clients, is that when we go down the path of thinking that our brain, our beautiful, intelligent brain, is somehow smarter than our inner knowing, it's kind of like somebody is literally handing you, like imagine they're handing you an envelope and the answer to the thing that you're looking for is inside of that. And you go, no, hold on. Like you hold up your hand, you push the envelope away, you turn your head away and you go, no, I got to go figure this shit out. Okay, so that is what happens every single time, because the reality is this. I don't care how many pros and cons lists that you make. It doesn't matter how much feedback that you get from anybody. Your best friend, your mother, your sister, your husband or partner, your boyfriend, people on Facebook, listen to podcasts like me. None of this matters. It's all little pieces of information that may be of value to you. But let's just be completely honest about this. You know the answer. The answer is inside. Right? The answer is inside. It's what you know to be true. It is your inner knowing. And you will never tap into that. You will never get the, quote, answer that you were looking for by trying to mentally rehearse it. It does not work that way. And all that ends up doing is put you into this spin where you're just going and you're like, oh, here's something new that could happen. And then you throw that into the mix. They're like, oh, that could be, and you throw that into the mix. And you just have this soup of all these ideas and feedback and what could, thinking that action is going to bring about the answer, which it can at times, for sure, right? Just sitting in one spot and not doing anything, often just choosing, listening and going, I feel like I should be doing this, taking that action, not, again, being so freaking mentally constipated that you're afraid to even take a step. Yes, sometimes it is just take a step and you're going to see nobody dies. Just take a fucking step and do something. However, the inner knowing that we have, what I often refer to as your spiritual GPS, when we cut off that flow of what we feel, what we know is right inside of us, it's again, we place so much significance on our mental ability to figure it out, when really it's your inner knowing is, they're handing you the envelope going, sister, here it is. We got it. It's this. But what do we often do? We push the envelope away and we go, no, let me figure it out. Because I'm afraid of what's inside of that envelope. Because I know what's inside of there and I don't agree with it and I don't want that. I don't want it. Or a little, we're that little inner child inside that's just having a tantrum and saying, no, but I want this, right? And even though that inner knowing inside of you, your heart, your soul, your being is saying, sweetheart, you are okay. You will be okay. Trust me, you're just seeing the next step and you can't see the next ones ahead of you. When I reflect back on my journey with infertility, We have 2 children, Tyson, who is 9, and Kai, who is 6, and we adopted both of our children. We were never able to conceive, and it was literally 7.5 years from the, okay, let's start the family, to when we were placed with our first son, Tyson. And even after getting on the adoption, going through the whole adoption process, going through all sorts of infertility stuff, going through all the different tests and the procedures, up until the next one would be IVF, that I was just like, you know, like the timeout, right? You do with your hands, like the letter T. Like, I was just like, I'm done. It wasn't even a timeout. It was just like, I'm done. I can't do this stuff anymore. I can't go through any more tests. I can't be poked and prodded anymore. You know, I can't speak for my husband, but like at that point, I was just like, I am done with this shit. There's got to be something else. Either I'm not supposed to be a mom, or there's another way. And this is when the conversation of adoption really started to become more solid, because we had discussed it before. But, you know, a lot of the myths that people have about adoption, oh, they're not, quote, my children, you know, they have baggage, like all this stuff, which is just not true. And so when I look back on that, again, it's easy to see the forest for the trees, right? We go, oh, like I know with absolute certainty. Now, sidebar, do I still mourn the fact that I was never able to conceive, be pregnant, give birth, breastfeed my children? Fuck yes, it's a loss. And like any sort of loss, you don't kind of get over it, you just get through it. It's still there. It's still there. It's still there. It's a scar, right? And that's okay. But I know that the reason that I was destined to go through that is because I was, and my husband, we were supposed to be the parents of Tyson and Kai. That is just it. So see, in the moment of me going through all the different tests and all the different pregnancy tests and ovulation stuff and acupuncture and taking drugs to try to increase my egg production and like all this kind of stuff, just relaxing, go on vacation, let go, oh, it'll happen, right? All that stuff I couldn't see at the time. My soul knew, but I couldn't see at the time. Because it was very, and again, there's listen, when I share this story and when it perhaps, you know, you trigger and you think back on times that you went through in your life, or maybe that you're currently going through in your life. 0 regrets. Do not beat yourself up. Treat yourself with love and respect and grace, knowing that you did the best with what you knew to be true at the time. I don't have any of regrets of all the steps that we went through to try to conceive up until, it was interesting, like even when we got on the wait list, I was still like, yeah, we're going to get pregnant. This is what happens. There's all these stories of these couples go through all this stuff, and then they get an adoption wait list, and then they get pregnant. Like, wouldn't that would be so amazing. That's going to happen to us, right? When we try to mentally figure stuff out, we cut off the inner knowing that we have inside of us. I'm trying to feel for different ways to say this to you, because this is big. This is really important. Your answer is inside. It's within. The answer is within. The answer is inside of you. Your soul is handing you that envelope. And I know you might feel like you're afraid to open it up. And maybe you can't see, because I'm telling you again, when I go back to that same story, I remember like vividly having a conversation with my husband. We're walking our dogs. We were in Alberta at the time. It was winter. It was really cold. We're at an off-leash dog park and we're walking the dogs. And I remember having this conversation and just being like, no, I will not do that. That's not my children. I won't do that. I'm a failure if that happens. Like I had all these stories and all this stuff about it. I wasn't ready to really listen. And so if that's you right now, that's okay. But just know that if you're looking for all the answers outside of you, you will never find them there. Now, you might get some great feedback or some advice or some coaching and mentoring, like do all those things, get all those things, but just understand that that is not the answer. It's information that may help you get there. Granted, it may help you, see that. And here's the deal. Your journey might be to the point of just like, well, I need to like try to mentally figure out until you go, oh yeah, shit, this doesn't work this way. Until you finally go, okay. Like arms open, like in surrender, like, okay, I'm open. So then the question comes as to, well, how do you listen? How do you hear? Because for so long, when you are mentally inside your head, you will shut off that connection you have to your soul, to that source, to that beingness, to that divine essence that is you. Right? It's like we have to, it's kind of like, oh God, I've given this example before in a podcast. I remember at one time I'm going, this is a really not great analogy, but here we go. This is what's coming through to me. If you, for example, had real challenges with elimination, right? Like you had to take drugs or you need coffee to make yourself poop each day. Your body will have something which is called lazy colon, meaning that your body's kind of going like, oh, we don't have to do this on our own. Okay, we're just going to wait for the drug to come in to do it, or the coffee, or whatever the thing that helps you to poop, right? As opposed to your body just eliminating on its own because it's a natural process. And so when that happens, when somebody, say, goes off the laxatives or the things that they do, their body goes, whoa, wait a second. Wait, but all these, no, we don't do this anymore, right? And so it may take a little bit of time. I remember going off birth control pill like in my 20s, and it took probably a year for my body to get back to a regular period again. Because again, taking a birth control pill, it's kind of tricking your body into like, we're just going to chemically induce this thing each month. And, so it took a while for my body to get back on track. And so when we shut off that inner knowing, or not even shut off, it's always there. It's like we just like put a cork in it. We're like, just go over there, sit over there. We put a blanket over it. We try to stuff it under, like just go away. It will not just suddenly pop into you. Okay. It's almost like a practice to kind of get back to that listening. So the next step in this is like, how do you do that? Roll this right into the more tip. Well, the way to really listen is to be still. The way to listen to your inner knowing, the spiritual GPS, the answers that you're looking for, is to be still. And I know for a lot of you, this may be you, sister. It's like, I hate being still. I know. Because we fooled ourselves into thinking that the constant motion is productive. That if we are constantly taking action, bam, 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 here. Right? I used to kind of like joke how I had one speed. It's fast. Even if I'd walk, be like, get out of my way. Like, come on, just fucking let's go. Like, let's go. I move, let's go. I do things, let's go. I make shit happen, let's go. But what I've since found to be true is that oftentimes, all that external action and doing and just action and bam, 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 all these things going on I can't even be with myself. I can't even be still. I don't want to. I'm afraid. What am I going to hear? And I remember, it was the whisperings when I was in practice as a chiropractor. If you needed to be doing something else, I was like, oh, whoa. No. The plan is chiropractic for life. Like, I'm a chiropractor always. I will always be in practice. I love to practice. Like, what is this that's coming up? These, and it doesn't have to be something so significant, but, there are times when we hear it and we go, ooh, nope, let me just push that away. So the way that we start to kind of connect into that channel again, that knowingness, is to get still. Meditation, by far, the best way. And we could do a whole podcast just on meditation. That would be fine. That'd be great. But the thing is, there's a cajillion apps. There's so much information. We don't have to talk about the benefits. It's plentiful, right? You know it. It would be like silly talking about, let me talk to you about why it's good for you to exercise. You just know that, right? You just know that. And it doesn't really have to be anything more difficult than sitting on your ass and closing your eyes and breathing. Now, can you use a mantra? Yes. Can you do guided meditation? Yes. Can you use a tool like Muse, which is like biofeedback? Yes. Done all those things. Cool. Whatever floats your boat. Just pick one though. Because see, where some of you, and you might go to the thing, it's like, well, let me research and see what's the best way to meditate. No, just fucking start. Start to listen. And so what's going to happen? You might even notice maybe in something, if you say do a yoga class or, I don't know, just anything where you're just like sitting still, that now suddenly you are forced to listen to all the shit inside your head. And it's like it just needs to kind of vent and get it out. All the negative self-talk, all the bullshit stories, all the victim stuff, all the, poor me and all the stuff that's happened to you is just, it's going to just come like rushing in, right? And that's okay. What I'm going to encourage you to do is just to notice it, just be aware of it. It's just, they're like little kids that just want to be seen, right? Mommy, look at me over here, look at me over here. So as opposed to trying to get the negative stuff outside of your head and go, I just shouldn't feel that way, how about you choose instead to just listen to all the little children that just need to be heard, and then just go, yes, I see you. I suck. Hi, sweetheart. I'm not enough. Yep, I see you. Yep, that story, that little child story that says, remember you did this thing and you sucked and you failed and you shouldn't have done that? Yep, I see you too. And what happens is when we just start to notice, when we just get still, when we just acknowledge the thoughts that are coming in and feel the feelings that are coming in, eventually they've all had their say. And they're still going to pop in at times, but now we start to get clear. Now we can start to listen in here. And that will take time, and that's okay. And so my more tip for you is you commit to a daily meditation today, starting today, not tomorrow, not next week when you're back from vacation or the in-laws have left just today. And do you realize it literally could be 2 minutes? Sit. I'm going to encourage you to sit and not lie. I used to say before, sit down, lie down if you want to, whatever. No, we'll tend to kind of conk out, Don't be in your bed. I used to meditate in my bed too, and that was fine. But just, we associate sleep and sex with that. Just have it be where you sit on the floor or on a yoga mat or put a pillow under your butt so it's a little bit easier on your knees if that's hard for your hips. Just sit and breathe and close your eyes and don't move. And it's hard. You're going to want to kind of fuss and suddenly you've got to scratch and just breathe. In and out through your nose preferably. In through your nose, out through your mouth if you want. Just start. We wouldn't go a day without plugging in our phones, right? And recharging them. We gotta recharge. Stillness is just a requirement. And it's where you're gonna find the answers that you're looking for. And daily meditation is gonna start the practice so you can actually hear them again, right? Because there's just so many layers of stories and thoughts and stuff. So understand it's all going to come flooding in, and that's okay. Just be with it. Don't try to stop it. Don't try to make it go away. Don't judge yourself or think that it's wrong. You're doing it wrong. Don't try to just put a positive affirmation over top, a pile of shit. Do your affirmations. That's cool, but acknowledge that you also have to see all the little children of all the little voices and the stories and the thoughts inside your head that are telling you that you suck, you're not enough, you're doing it wrong. They just want to be seen and heard. That's it. So there's your more tip for today. Stillness, stillness, stillness. So sister, listen, finishing up, I created something really special at the beginning of this year called the More Club so that you had more support because so many of you, and this might have been you too, had reached out to me or have just said to me when maybe you've met me at an event or you sent me an email or commented on a post on Instagram or Facebook or something of just this is so great. I would love more kind of thing. Or maybe inside one of my Facebook groups, the Journey to Feminine, or the Women Wanting More Experience. You're like, oh, I want more than the podcast. Well, this is the birth of the More Club. And so that you have more of that. You have some more support, more tools, more resources, and a community of women that are wanting to really own their power, own their worthiness, and have more tools on how to really create a life of more. Where maybe you can't come out to a live event retreat experience, or you don't really want to do online courses, you're not doing one-on-one coaching with me. This is an option that is available for every woman. So you can start to own your worthiness, your power, and begin to hear the messages inside of you. So there's bonus podcast episodes. There's a monthly mindset training. I'm doing a powerful interview each month with a female leader in all of these things that we talk about on the podcast. There is a hot topics reading list. Like, it just goes on and on and on. And it's amazing. When you go into the More Club, which to go check it out, go to patreon.com/women wanting more. Patreon, patreon.com/women wanting more. So when you go inside, you're going to see like all the amazing benefits, starting with just $2 a month. Like, this is not a misspeak. $2. I'm not going to even break that down to how much is it each day. It's ridiculous, right? So you can choose from $2, $5, or $10 a month, and you'll see the benefits with each. So you can get more support, more tools, more resources to really create this life of more, which is the life that you truly desire. And you can begin to take action and have more of this. So go to patreon.com/women wanting more and join us in the More Club today. And in addition, sister, I've just opened up 3 spots for one-on-one coaching with me. Okay, I've put a pause in this for the last couple months as I was working on other projects. And so now there's 3 spots that are open up. So this is what one-on-one coaching is for. This is for you if you're like, the More Club's great, but I need more support, right? You are at a place where you've been trying all these things and you've hit a wall. Okay, you don't know where to go. You feel lost, you feel stuck. Maybe you don't even know where you are anymore. Like, I see you, because I hit that wall 2 years ago. So I know exactly what this is like and how to get through onto the other side. So you can have weekly support to really keep you on track, where we specifically set up your program based on what you want to see happen at the end of 3 months. So we'll roll with weekly calls for 3 months to really keep you going and on track. Okay. In addition, you have me 24/7. So you have access to me between the weekly calls. And I set it up this way for this specifically, which is why there's only 3 spots, because there's so much energy and time and bandwidth that I have to have this kind of commitment and relationship with just 3 women at a time, is because there were so many women over the years in coaching who they really needed that support. You know, they'd kind of like, we'd go so far within that weekly call, and then they'd kind of roll back, and we'd spend the next call, the first half of the next call, 30 minutes, just kind of rehashing, getting them back to where they were from the last call. Do you hear me? So this really keeps you moving forward on track. So when things come up, you're able to have access to me so we can keep you going forward and we don't lose that momentum. Okay, so here's what you need to do to apply for one of these 3 spots for one-on-one coaching, because it is by application. Simply send me a text, 250-589-4811, 250-589-4811, and say, Karen, I'd like to apply for one of those one-on-one coaching spots. Okay, and I will send you the application and we will go from there. So I will talk in the next episode, sister. I appreciate you listening today. A life of more really is one step away from you understanding that the answers are inside of you every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.